Howdy. How's everybody doing? Oh god, as soon as I started talking, I had to cough again. Hi! Oh, wait, no, voice leaving. Okay, there we go. Voice back. Hope everyone's been having a good day. I played some Magic, so it was a good day. I got a box of Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering packs for Christmas, and so we were playing with those, and it was a good time. I cast Kefka from Final Fantasy VI, and he got counterspelled. And then the next game, I cast him again, and he got counterspelled. That's Magic the Gathering, baby. But yeah, I still haven't actually played much video games since I returned from Florida, and I barely played any while I was in Florida, so I'm slacking. I gotta play more video games. But first I gotta talk about more video games. Gathered up your magic into decisions killing me. They almost killed you, is the thing. Mr. I'm playing a card in my deck where I require one other specific card to ever be capable of casting it. Truly ridiculous decisions being made. But considering that the cards in your deck are generally better than the cards in my deck, I kinda gotta hope you keep that up for when we play against each other. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I beat Lawyer Dog, and that's what truly matters. So, let's switch over to this playlist. That's a little too intense. There we go. Video games. So, quick recap of the current state of the tier list. Up in S tier, we've got Like a Dragon Gaiden Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. We've got Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Expedition 33, Dreams of Ether, Old School RuneScape, Dark Souls 1 and 2, Metroid Prime Hack, which gets its own little thing, just honorable mention, alongside all 4 Metroid Prime games, because I think even Metroid Prime 3 was quite good. Is my cursor being captured here? There it is. Picayune Dreams, which was kinda out of nowhere, but ended up being one of my favorites of the year. Sam & Max Beyond Time and Space. Hilarious. Great stuff. Last Epoch. Visions of Mana. And Heart of the Machine. Down in A tier, we have Deadlock, Neo 2, Castlevania Order of Ecclesia, Let It Die, Fallen Leaf, Critter Cove, and RuneScape, aka RuneScape 3. B tier, we've got TCG Card Shop Simulator, Penny's Big Breakaway, Forklift Load, Egg Squeeze, Cat Quest, and Witchfire. And then our current only entry into the C tier, Path of Exile 2. I'm going to be talking about the Mario Party games next, So I think Path of Exile 2 might have a friend or two by the end of this discussion. So let's talk about Mario parties. Because we played a lot of Mario Party this last year. Because for my birthday, we spun the wheel and played Mario Party 4, 6, and 7. And then Asp came by to visit, and during that visit, we had a Mario Party Palooza, and we played all the Wii ones, we played the Wii U one, and all the Switch ones. So let's start with the GameCube ones. I'm a big fan of Mario Party 4. I prefer Mario Party 5. Mario Party 5 is my favorite Mario Party. But you know, Jamboree's pretty up there, but let's start with 4, 6, and 7. One of the biggest problems that the Mario Party games had as the series progressed was the presence or lack of good board design. Mario Party 4, most of the boards, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Mario Party 6, Mario Party 7, those boards are bullshit. I recall there's like maybe one board in 6 that's like kinda close to being normal, and then 7 is all nonsense. Seven with the mountain where it's just one path up a mountain, and that's it. Mario Party 7, not one of the better ones. 6, not one of the better ones. But because I have to take into consideration that we're going to be talking about 9 and 10 as part of this. So like I still think that 6 is better than 9 and 10. Is 7 on the same level as 9 and 10? I don't know if it's that bad. No, I don't think it's that bad. I'm skipping around a little bit. I do think that 9 and 10 might make their way down into the D tier. Everyone shares the car and the mini stars, and there's like barely any mini games. And like the mini games barely matter except for the ones that the entire game hinges around. It's just, I don't think they're well balanced. I don't think their gimmicks are fun to engage with. Their minigames aren't great. But you know, despite being one of the Wii Mario Party games, I didn't hate 8. I don't know if it's B tier, but it's definitely not D tier. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Is Mario Party 4 A tier? It's pretty alright. We'll put it at a low A right now. And we're putting Jamboree ahead of it. Because I think Mario Party Jamboree is one of the best Mario Party games. Mario Party 4 had the best minigames of 4 through 6. 5 is still my favorite, but 4 is one of the best Mario Parties, I think. Like, 1 through 5... Well, 1 is kind of fucked up. 2 through 5 are generally pretty good ones. 6 and 7... Are the... I didn't hate 8. I really didn't. I thought 8 was generally pretty fine. Super... I think Super goes into B, because I think a lot of the board mechanics in Super aren't fantastic, but I think it had some pretty solid minigames. And I think Superstar, despite not having enough boards, like, there's just not enough stuff in Mario Party Superstars, but the stuff that is in Mario Party Superstars is pretty consistently good. Superstars might be a high B instead of a low A. I'm just thinking about these ones, just like... I'm trying to remember more about 8. I guess the fact that I barely remember anything about it likely means that it was inoffensive, but also not amazing. Like, we were on that train level. That train level was kinda neat. Oh, right! 8 has the mechanic where you get sent to heaven, and then you just get like 1,000,000 coins and a free star. Yeah, no. 8 can stay down in C tier. That's fine. If we played 5 in this last year, 5 could reach up into S rank, but I'm pretty happy with this. Jamboree 4 and Superstar up in A. Super Mario Party in B, 6, 7, and 8 in C tier. Not convinced we even played Super Mario Party. We did! I'm pretty sure. I the beef cube one. It has the one where you, like, you have to shake the boxes, like you shake the Joy-Con and feel how much stuff is rattling around in there. It had that one. That one was neat. Nine and 10. I think 9 and 10 are totally A-okay being down in the D tiers. Those were not very good games. Mario Party or otherwise. Ball X Pit. B for Ball X Pit. Ball X Pit is a game that has a lot of really cool mechanics, a lot of interesting decisions, and a lot of neat stuff. Like, a lot of neat stuff that happens in the game, a lot of neat stuff that you can do in the game. But I didn't actually like the Brick Breaker gameplay. Like, I'm not a big fan of Arkanoid, Brick Breaker kind of games. So it's just like, I really liked the stuff that it was doing, but I didn't actually like playing the game that much. So, like, it's a game that I found really interesting, but it was not really for me. Super Mario 64. One of the best to ever do it. I mean, like, how could Super Mario 64 ever not be in an S tier? Even when most of the Mario 64 that I played last year was in the context of, chaos hacks, chaos mods. Like, the rogue chaos was really cool. Baser was super cool. I thought, fucking, what was it called? Chow Garden 64, or I don't remember the name of the first one, like what that first one was called, but I do think that first Chaos mod that we played was a pretty good Chaos mod. The fucking cat, the Mario Kart, the bombs being nukes. Fucking the K's chaos hack annoyed the ever-loving hell out of me. That being stuck in the fucking Big Boo Haunt merry-go-round, not capable of leaving the stage because I'm just getting frame 1 tossed around the room by K's Jr. And Green Chaos is one of the most fucked up learning experiences I have ever had playing a video game. But once I knew how to control the game, that game was pretty sick. Like, Green Chaos was a lot of fun once you were schmoovin', but holy cow, learning how to schmoove in that game was absurd. So many button combinations, so many buttons, the timing of different buttons, just so ludicrous. Chow Garden 64, Super Mario 64 Rogue Chaos Edition, Chaos Edition, Baser. Oh right, Pesky Mario's. Pesky Mario's was neat. I don't think it was great, but it was neat. Wasn't that the one where the team was, like, down a member or something? Yeah, that one did feel like it could have been better if it had a little more polish. Yeah, it was neat. It was a neat idea. It wasn't bad. Like, if I were putting the Chaos mods into individual tier lists, it would be like Chow Garden 64 and Baser would be S. Rogue Chaos Edition and Green Chaos would be A. And, Chaos, Cows, K's, the K's one, and Pesky Mario. Yeah. Chaos Edition in B, Pesky Mario's in C. And I don't think Pesky Mario's goes down in C tier because it was bad in any way. It was just like, it was neat, but it wasn't super fun to play, and it wasn't very chaos. But Super Mario 64 as a whole goes up in S tier, no questions asked. And so does Sunshine. I like Mario Sunshine a lot. That game is a whole lot of fun to play. And there are many ways where it controls worse than Mario 64, And a lot of the mission designs are not as good as Mario 64, but it being different is great. I think it being different works very well in its favor, because if you want to play Mario 64, you play Mario 64, but if you want to play Sunshine, you play Sunshine. They're different. Flood has a lot of fun utility and a lot of weirdo niche tech that you can use, like do a little spray in front of you and then dive, and then because you're sliding on water, you get extra speed, and so that stuff is cool. All the spin jump tech. Yeah, Mario Sunshine, it's also just it's really fun to look at. It's got a fun vibe. So even though there are more individual shines that suck to get in Sunshine than there are stars that suck to get in Mario 64, Sunshine is still pretty up there. Sunshine is the most fun to revisit for you. I mean, at this point, because I have learned speedrunning shenanigans in Mario 64 is the one that I go back to and will have more fun going back to, but I'll still go back to Mario Sunshine and have a great time. Mario Sunshine rules. Flowstone Saga! I guess some of these games are going off the bottom of the screen a little bit. Here, let me... It's getting a little blocked by the captioner, but that's fine. Love-hate relationship. Yep. Don't blame you at all for some shines in Mario Sunshine for being a huge pain in the ass. Okay, Flowstone Saga. Flowstone Saga is a game that I really, really wanted to like, because it's a Tetris RPG. You're playing Tetris and you get, cool RPG powers, and you're doing, RPG fights with Tetris. That sounds amazing. I love Tetris, I love RPGs. Flowstone Saga has a lot of fucking dialogue. That game has way too much dialogue between instances of playing Tetris. It's a very verbose game, and I don't think the Tetris mechanics are very fun to engage with in that game. I just don't think it was very fun to play. And I love Tetris. I love Tetris, love RPGs. I just don't think Flowstone Saga worked the way that I wanted it to. So, it's kind of a bummer, but it's going down in C tier, because it's hard for me to say, how good it is. Maybe it gets better if you go further in. Maybe I didn't play enough of it. Maybe it has a lot more cool mechanics that it introduces past the point where I stopped, but just so much dialogue, didn't love the combat, and at that point it's just how much do I care about seeing more? And it's I kinda didn't. Salamander County Public Television, though. That was a whole lot of fun. That game... I love the writing in Salamander County Public Television. Just... everything... So much of the jokes are so deadpan, so blunt. Just a lot of the jokes that are based in dialogue in Salamander County Public Television has the same punchline delivery as the sensation of, getting to the top of the stairs and thinking there's another stair. But I kind of loved it. I kind of loved those jokes. Yeah, stock photo guy coworker. Just, yeah, like, the coworkers are so weird. Or, like, the main coworker guy is so weird. The plot is ludicrous. And just, like, you, the player character, don't really have any agency in anything, but you have, like, the one cool coworker. Right, so there's, like, the female coworker, and they're cool. They are the actual cool coworker. But then the other coworker, like the main coworker who is like guiding you on your missions, he thinks he's the cool coworker, but he's not. And like all of the weird, like all of the absurdity, all of the weirdness, all of this really odd dialogue. And the dialogue is delivered through, like, text-to-speech. All of this strangeness is wrapped up in a fucking WarioWare. Like, it's just, like, a collection of WarioWare-style minigames. They're a little longer than WarioWare. They're more like little flash games. Like the minigame where you've got a basketball and a basketball hoop, and it gives you little meters determining like the angle of your throw, the power of your throw, and the spin of your throw. And then you press the buttons, and then the basketball hoop throws itself towards the ball. Just really, really fun stuff. Really goofy, really charming. I liked it a lot. Some of the minigames were kinda duds, and I do kinda wish there was a little more to it, but I had a great time with it. It's a short but sweet kind of thing. And, like, trying to get the bonus and the best rankings on all the minigames and stuff like that was a lot of fun, so. SCP-TV. A lot of fun. Lost Judgment. Oh, man. I get to Lost Judgment, and the next song that starts playing is so boring. Oh my god. Lost Judgment isn't bad. I want to make this clear. I want to be absolutely transparent. Lost Judgment is not a bad video game. And I have finally gotten to the point of the story where the story is, like, engaging and interesting, and it feels like, you know, plot points that were set up earlier are coming to fruition. It feels like things are starting to come together, and, like, certain things are finally being given purpose. But man, a lot of that game, it kinda just feels like you're just fucking around. A lot of stuff that happens in Lost Judgment kind of feels like things are just happening to Yagami. Like, he goes out to find a thing, and then a bunch of stuff happens to him, and then he has new information. He does not go, like, look for information and find the information he's looking for. Stuff happens to Yagami. A lot of the minigames are not amazing. I liked the boxing. I liked the boxing minigame a lot. The robotics minigame had some balance issues. The fighting game club is just play 4 rounds of Virtua Fighter 5 and then the entire storyline is over. So, like, there's been some fun writing moments, there's been some fun side stories. The snake style is a lot more fun to use than Tiger and Crane style, which was one of my biggest problems with the first Judgment game. it's... And the boxing style is also fun. I still think it's one of my least favorite RGG Studios games that I've played. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad. And I have a feeling that once I actually finish the story, I'm probably going to think higher of it. Because one of the biggest things about Judgment 1 was I didn't love any of the side content, but I loved the main story. And so I haven't loved the main story of Lost Judgment. But we're getting to a point where the story is coming together in interesting ways, and I am more interested and, like, more excited to play more Lost Judgment than I have been in a while. Yeah, Switch 2 is not cheap. One of the big reasons why I have a Switch 2 is because I know that a lot of people are not willing to pay the money required to purchase a Switch 2. And so I'm, like, showing off the, I'm showing people what's there, showing off what's on the system, so they know how much they ought to care about getting a Switch 2. Depressingly expensive up there. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's... MSRP is $500 US for the console and Mario Kart World, so I don't know what the exchange rate is, but it's probably not that far off. But yeah, oh god, Lost Judgment and the fucking dialogue choices. I mean, the dialogue choice thing of just, like, it not actually mattering which dialogue options you're given, that's a thing in a lot of RGG Studios games, but because Lost... Again, so many of the things that make Lost Judgment annoying and frustrating are the fact that it is ostensibly a detective story, instead of just, like, fucking action cop man. Like, it feels like Yagami is action cop man, but he's supposed to be smart guy detective. And in Lost Judgment, he's treated like a fucking idiot. By the story, not by people around him. People around him are just like, wow, I can't believe you got that. I can't believe all these cool pieces of information that you're picking up that I never would have noticed. And it's all just the most obvious shit. Or just stuff that people have told him directly. Yeah, the fucking arrow, he gets to where the big murder scene happened, and he's just like, really gonna have to look around to figure out where the murder happened. And the camera pans directly towards a giant red arrow on the floor, pointing to where the murder happened. It's comical, but it's not... It is laughing at the game, not laughing with the game, it feels like. So, Lost Judgment is a B. I don't think Lost Judgment is bad, but I do think it is one of the worst of the RGG Studios games. And, like, that's a high bar. I love those games. I love the Yakuza games. I love the spin-offs they've done. I even like the First Judgment. I didn't love the First Judgment, but I like the First Judgment. The Lost Judgment, it's got some problems. That means we can only go up again. I've heard more good... Well, I heard a lot of good things about Lost Judgment before I started, so I don't know. I don't know how much to believe hearing things, but... I am optimistic about Ishin. It seems pretty cool, so I'm looking forward to it. Skyward Sword is one of the worst Zelda games comparatively, but still a wonderful game on its own. Yeah, sure! Yakuza 3! Yakuza 3 is another one of the worst RGG Studios games, but, like, by itself, it's still a pretty good video game. It's just being compared to some of the best video games. Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop. I simultaneously think that this game should not be a roguelike, and also it is one of the games most deserving of being a roguelike. Because it is a game... It's a roguelike... Well, roguelite, I guess. It's a run-based game. And so much of what makes it a good run-based game is so smart. But also, like, it has enough story, it has enough, like, really neat, interesting things going on that I also would have enjoyed and appreciated it being a game more designed to be completed, in a way. Like, I would rather it be a game that has, like, some amount of randomization level to level, but is designed to be played all the way through, and then you can replay it to do different story routes. But because it is run-based, certain aspects of it feel kind of like you're bashing your face against it over and over in some, like, not as enjoyable ways. But, on the other hand, getting better at all of the little tasks that you have to do in order to repair these spaceships, just, like, getting better at these different things, being prepared for a variety of different repair jobs, like, knowing how all of these mechanics work, all of that stuff feels very rewarding to learn, and thus it being run-based means that once you are more consistently getting through the earlier levels, you are doing all of those tasks like second nature. You are just getting better and better at these tasks, and getting better and better at a wider variety of tasks the further you get in with each attempt. And so it's you know, it's got a double-think kind of quality to it of just, like, I really appreciate the ways that it is a run-based game, but also would have been pretty happy if it weren't. So I still think it's an A. I still think that Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop is an A game, because that game has some really fun writing, a lot of interesting aesthetic designs. It's very charming. Even if I did not follow through on actually beating that game. But I think it's really cool, I think it's really interesting, and I am willing to go back to it. Signalis. Man, Signalis. I am not much of a horror game guy. I generally do not jive with horror games. Often because, like, I don't love gory deaths. Especially, like, gory player character deaths. You know, I absolutely cannot play Dead Space, because when the player character gets murdered in Dead Space, it is severe. It's... So, and also, I just don't super jive with horror vibes. Like, I don't go out of my way for horror media in general. Like, especially just, like, jump scare type stuff, gory body horror type stuff. But I can jive with, like, more ominous horror, like, more unsettling kind of stuff. Just, like, weird, off-putting bullshit just like more of a thriller kind of, not like the music video, but like the genre. But like I can jive with that kind of vibe, and I really like survival horror game mechanics. One game that I wanted to play for so long was Resident Evil 4. And I didn't play it for a very long time because I knew there were some gory character deaths in that game. Eventually, I did push through. I did play through that game, and I fucking love it. I love... And the original Resident Evil 4 I'm talking about. I also played the remake, and I fucking love that. I really love survival horror mechanics, and I respect that you cannot have the same... Like, you cannot have the same kinds of mechanics one-to-one in a survival horror game in a non-survival horror game. Like, you cannot put all of the mechanics that are in Resident Evil 4 into a non-horror game and have it feel the same. Because the vibe, the aesthetics, and the general sense of being up against very life-threatening obstacles, that all of that stuff is very important to the mechanics of a survival horror game. Because survival horror games are all about resource management. And if you are very smart about how you use your resources, if you are very careful, very methodical, very smart about your resources, then these games generally do not pose too much of a threat. You are usually able to handle these games pretty well if you can keep your cool. And that's very important. These games are all about creating encounters where you are no longer capable of keeping your cool for one reason or another. Either because it is enforcing some sense of artificial scarcity upon you, or placing you in some kind of disadvantageous position at the start of an encounter. Or sometimes, like, not necessarily in a jump scare way, but sometimes it will just startle you into potentially wasting resources. You know, you walk into a room, like, as you're walking into a room, you don't see any guys. And then you get into the room and there was a guy behind the door, and suddenly he's like, "Arr!" And so you trying to react to, like, fighting off that guy can result in a waste of resources. And that kind of scenario of gradually, like, causing you to waste resources, draining your resources in these ways, feel very specific to being a horror game. And so I love those mechanics. I love survival horror mechanics because resource management in the context of an action game can be so much fun, because if you're good, then you are rewarded. You get to, like, keep more of your resources for more dangerous situations, or you could even be doing so well on resources that you can sell some of your excess resources to make your weapons better, to buy extra items, to buy extra healing, so on and so forth. And sometimes, if you are bold, then you can just, like, sprint past dudes. Just like, I don't even need to fight any of you. I'm just fucking leaving. And I'm picking up all of the money on my way out. I'm taking all this shit with me. See ya. And so, like, it is a really interesting dynamic between what the game is enforcing upon the player and how the player reacts to all of that. Fucking love survival horror game mechanics. And Signalis does that kind of thing excellently. From a gameplay perspective, Signalis is so smart, so clever about the ways that it encourages you or discourages you from engaging with enemies. Because you can fight enemies. You can just, like, anytime you come across someone, just shoot them. You can do that. The problem being, unless you expend a much rarer resource, that enemy will eventually come back. And so, suddenly, it is a decision of which enemies am I going to spend these very rare, like, thermal flares on in order to get rid of them permanently. And as you're exploring an area, you might come across a couple of enemies where it is just very obvious, like, I need to go through this one hallway. I'm going to need to go through this one hallway another, like, 4 or 5 times. And these enemies are, like, right on top of the doorways. Like, these enemies are going to aggro on me as soon as I walk into this room. If not, like, get a hit on me as soon as I walk into this room. These enemies, I'm going to spend these resources on. And then, you only have 6 inventory slots. So which resources you bring along with are super, super important. Because your gun takes up one of your inventory slots. Ammo for that gun takes up an inventory slot. Every key item that you gather to, like, progress the game take up one of those 6 inventory slots. It's so smart because you can absolutely get by with, like, 3 inventory slots taken up with combat items, and then the other 3 are used for puzzles and keys and stuff like that. But depending on which weapons you're bringing with you, depending on, like, whether you have already killed off all of the enemies between you and where you're going, you know, maybe you don't need to carry your gun with you at all, or maybe you don't need to bring extra ammo with you at all. Maybe you are just, like, avoiding every enemy. Maybe you just, like, swoosh around every hostile that you come across. And I did that a lot. I spent so much of that game just fucking leaving. I walk into a room, there's 3 people in this hallway. I am walking around these enemies to get to the door to leave. I am not fighting any of them. It is not worth my time. It's not worth my ammo. Fuck it. I'm out of here. And aesthetically, it does a really good job of making that feel like both a viable strategy and also like a big risk. And it can be. You know, you lure an enemy away from a door to get through the door, and then you come back through that door. You had to lure that enemy away from the door. That enemy just hangs out over by that door. And so when you come back through that door, that enemy is still there. And it's like, oh, fuck, right. And so you've got, like, the stun prods, which are, like, your panic buttons. You've got a variety of healing items. And the healing items, like, can be used for different circumstances. Like, oh, this item heals a lot, but it heals very slowly. This item heals instantly, but it doesn't heal very much. And also, a bunch of the healing items being, like, different items makes them take up more inventory slots, and you can't even stack the ones that do stack that much. So I think, mechanically, it does a lot of very interesting, smart things with its limited inventory, with the way that it handles enemies, enemy placement, and just general encounter design. And it also has, like, cool, interesting boss fights. It has really fun encounters. Like, the the radio signal creatures, like the ones that you walk into a room and a radio wavelength shows up, and you have to tune your radio to that wavelength to figure out which one of these, like, 6 enemies is the real one. And then when you pop the real one, the rest of them disappear because they were illusions. But even though they're illusions, because they're attacking your brain directly, they can still deal damage if you, like, run up on them. There were several rooms in Signalis that I just did not actually go into, because I walk in and it's a dark room and I turn on my flashlight and there's like 5 enemies. And I just 180, I'm just out. I'm just... Nope. Unless that is like major progression, unless that is somewhere I have to go, I am not dealing with this. I am out of here. And I was basically always... I basically always had excess resources throughout Signalis, but because I wanted to keep inventory slots open, because I didn't want to waste any ammo, even though I could have just been running around shotgunning everything that I came across, I just didn't. And I had a great time doing that. And so I think the gameplay of Signalis is an absolute blast. Really, really well-designed, well-balanced survival horror experience. And also aesthetically gorgeous. It's not, like, beautiful in a traditional sense, but the aesthetics of Signalis are so extremely strong, so, like, it has a very clear look and feel that it absolutely nails start to finish. The writing is spectacular, the story is so engaging, so gripping, and it does, you know, the traditional survival horror game thing of so much of the story is in just, like, you know, audio logs and journals and notes just left all over the place. But it gives you all of the relevant information for understanding what's going on in very practical ways. And all of the ways in which it is most confusing are the ways where it is intentionally confusing and intentionally unclear. And it is also a game that appears to be told in a non-linear fashion, and yet, for the most part, I got it. I understood what was going on, I knew what the game was getting at. I knew who the important characters were. Like, so even though a lot of things come across as vague at first, if you're reading the stuff, like the dialogue, the notes and such that you come across, even if you don't get all of them, if you are reading the stuff that you are coming across, you're probably gonna get it. And for people who want to dig in, there is a lot more depth to it. There is a lot more going on that you can dig into, that you can get. But it's not necessary to having a great time with just one playthrough straightforward. And I was very satisfied with the ending that I got. Like, I looked up the other endings. One of the other endings, I was very glad I didn't get that ending. The other ending was just like, that also would have been a good ending, but I am happy with the one that I got. So, Signalis, like, Signalis is actually more of a contender for Game of the Year than Expedition 33 was. Genuinely, it is pretty close between Pirate Yakuza and Signalis for my Game of the Year. and Signalis didn't come out last year, but as far as games that I played last year, Signalis is probably top 3. I fucking loved this game. Like, 10 out of 10, highly recommended. Really, really fantastic experience. Rogue Ganesha. Rogue Ganesha is an auto shooter survival kind of game. It's got some problems. I think the way that some of the mechanics function, some of the choices that it gives the player, and the way that a run progresses has some kinks. It has a couple of problems here and there. Nothing major. And if you're into auto shooter survival kinds of games, Rogue Ganesha is fun. I don't think it's amazing. I did not feel the need to go back and, like, finish all of the challenges to get all of the achievements and stuff in this game. And usually I do. Usually I will put way too much time into this kind of game, but for this one, I didn't. I didn't really dig into it as much as I have with other entries in the genre. So, I think it's a B. It's worth checking out if you like that kind of game. A lot of the things that it does are pretty straightforward. It does some neat things. I'm thinking back on some of the mechanics. It does, like, Diablo-style gear of, here's a shirt with these modifiers on it, and stuff like that. I don't think that system worked out very well. Some of the other systems felt a little excessive. It's alright. It's fine. I wish I had more to say about it, but it's been a hot minute since I played it, so. High B. Abiotic Factor. That's going up in S. I don't know where exactly in S, but it's definitely an S rank. Abiotic Factor is probably the best survival crafting game out there. It is so much fun. The facility is so much fun to explore. There's a really interesting variety to not just enemies, but threats as a whole. Just problems that you come across throughout the exploration of the facility, and the variety of ways that the game gives you to engage with these threats, to try and deal with these problems that you're coming across. All kinds of different weird, cool armors with different bonuses, weird, cool weapons. Like, you get a fucking sword that shoots a laser out of it, and, like, that's awesome. But the fact that it uses laser as its energy source makes it way harder to recharge than electric weapons. So maybe, like, you get this cool laser rifle, but you stick with the electricity charged pistol instead of the rifle, because the rifle uses laser as its energy source. But for things that just use electricity as their energy source, there's a trinket that you can equip that will gradually recharge them over time. just, like, a lot of little choices that can be very dependent on, like, what you value as a player, how you play the game. Like, the laser weapons are powerful, so maybe you just bring a laser charging station with you and set up, like, just bring a full setup to recharge your laser weapons wherever you go, instead of going back to base to recharge them. Or maybe you just have, like, really robust teleportation systems put together, and so it's really easy for you to go back and recharge. Maybe you really like the weapons that use ammo, and so you went through and, like, spent a bunch of time grinding for specific ammo types. And the creativity offered for all of the base building stuff, just, like, making a little home base out of, like, you know, maybe you go build in the office cubicles, or in the ceiling rafters above the office cubicles. Maybe you build your base around the pool. Maybe you go build your base in the fucking weirdo cult town, just for fun. Just because you think it's cool there. And you set up, like, teleportation systems to take you back easily. Maybe you just build up your base in the very first room that the game puts you in, and you, like, you're driving jeeps and trucks and fucking little golf carts and forklifts all over the place because you just know the layout of the facility so well. And the game does have a lot of ways to get around the facility quickly. Like, there are trams, there are, like, little shortcuts and little teleport things that are not actual teleporters, but are basically teleporters. Like, there are some water pipes that you can ride the pipe to get to a different area once you unlock them. And the core combat is not anything super special, but I think it's fun. I think because moving around generally feels pretty good, like, engaging in melee feels like you are being rewarded for the generally higher damage, or at least lower resource cost of using melee weapons. If you are good at, like, landing your hits and then getting out of the way, or getting out of range. It is a lot of fun. It is so much fun to explore the facility, see what all weird shit is happening. The progression systems, like the mechanics for how you progress, like all of the stuff that makes you better and more powerful at exploring the facility and dealing with new threats. Like, all of that stuff feels, like, impactful and meaningful. Like, you get access to what is functionally an infinite source of clean water relatively early on, but there's better stuff out there than just water. Like, what if instead of using water to hydrate, you use the purple alien juice, which is better at hydrating you? But it's not as easy to come across. Like, you gotta go to where the juice is, rather than just having a barrel that can turn anything into the juice. It's really interesting. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun to like, discover new mechanics. Like, my current file, I've got, like, more than 40 hours played on my furthest progression file in Abiotic Factor, and, like, I only just unlocked the oven and baking, and so I still haven't actually baked anything yet, but I can bake cakes, apparently? So, like, That's cool. Maybe the cakes are really strong. I don't know. I'll find out, because I'm definitely going to play more of it, because Abiotic Factor rules. And still in active development. Constantly putting out new content, like updating, fixing stuff. If you like survival crafting games, you should play Abiotic Factor. If you don't know if you like survival crafting games, but you like Half-Life 1's aesthetic, you should check out Abiotic Factor. Also, if you have a bunch of friends that you want to play like a multiplayer kind of game with, Abiotic Factor. It has like some really fun multiplayer mechanics that you can engage with. Really great. Really, really great game. The Were Cleaner. It's short, it's free, you play as a cute little werewolf guy going around cleaning up an office building while trying not to be caught, because if anyone catches you and sees that you're a werewolf, you murder them. And then you have to clean up the scene of the crime. It's really cute. It's very charming. Like, it has some really fun dialogue, and it has some fun puzzles. It has fun little challenges that it presents you with for how to most efficiently go through this office. And it's the same layout every time, but sometimes you will, like, some areas will be blocked off or something, and the messes will be in different parts of the building. Eye contact equals death, just like Pokemon. Yeah. So, really cute little experience. I mean, it's free. It's like 2 hours to do all the stuff in it. Good time. Nubby's Number Factory. I haven't played this game in a couple of updates, but if you like weirdo run-based experiences, Nubby's Number Factory. If you like making number go up, Nubby's Number Factory. If you like peg games, where you like drop a ball to hit some pegs, Nubby's Number Factory does that too. Its aesthetic is very strange, but it does a good job of having a wide variety of synergies and builds you can try and put together. The decisions to make in a run generally feel impactful, and it, even before you start the run, like, the different characters that you can play as all feel very different, have a lot of fun stuff they do. It has the Baldi's Basics Entertainment low-budget aesthetic in a good way. Yeah! I think Nubby's Number Factory is pretty good. It didn't hold me for a long time, but I did play a lot of it over a short time. Based solely on the art styles, Nubby's Number Factory is in the same continuity as Piggy-Yoon Dreams. I mean, a bunch of stuff does look like it's made out of clay. That's true. Yeah, Nubby's Number Factory, pretty good. Pokemon Legends ZA. So, I'm gonna say right out the gate, some of my favorite writing in a Pokemon game. I think there is so much charm to the writing in this game. I really enjoyed reading the dialogue. And not just like in the main story, but there's a lot of fun little side quests too. And none of it is revolutionary. None of it is really pushing the envelope in any kind of tangible way. But it's just fun. Like, it is... It feels like the game took itself just seriously enough in the right ways. And then, when it comes to the gameplay, I like the gameplay a lot. I never played Arceus. I didn't play Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I know that the gameplay for ZA is based off of Arceus. But not having played Arceus, I really enjoyed the active time battle systems. I really enjoyed just walking around with my Pokemon, and my Pokemon is out, and like me and my Pokemon can just get attacked by wild Pokemon. And so I'd climb up onto a rooftop, and some bad bitch Pokemon is just up there waiting and starts fighting. Or I can like sneak up on it and try and catch it without having to fight it at all. I do really appreciate, one of my favorite parts about Pokemon Legends ZA is the fact that if you KO a Pokemon, you have an opportunity to catch it before it goes away forever. Arceus was more traditional. It was still turn-based and had power points to worry about. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, ZA, like, it being more active was a really fun twist on Pokemon. Because sometimes you could actually just dodge moves by moving out of the way. And sometimes the game would expect you to do that, like during the Alpha Pokemon boss fights. Or not Alpha, the Rogue Mega Pokemon. Like, those fights are a lot of fun. There is just like a big dramatic boss fight. And that was great. And the story was pretty interesting. I enjoyed the story. Like, it has a big dramatic ending, which is a lot of fun to play through. I really like how one of the like major story Pokemon that you get is an Absol. I've always been an Absol fan, so I enjoyed hanging out with an Absol the whole game. Before the DLC came out, I had completed my Pokédex minus, like, a couple of trait evolutions, and I think I had alpha versions of, like, half of the Pokemon in the Pokédex. So, I mean, I played a lot of ZA. I think I played, like, 100 hours of ZA or something like that. I played a lot of ZA, and I am going to play more of it. Once I pick up the DLC. So, just like, I know it has problems. It has problems in the sense of there's not a huge number of not a huge variety of Pokemon in it, which is helped somewhat by the DLC introducing a bunch of new Pokemon. And the fact that it all takes place in this one city does mean there's not a wide variety of environments. They do have a variety of environments, just not a huge, wide variety. Like, they put an ice zone in the city, but it has its flaws. Is it an $80 video game? No, it's not. But I genuinely had a really fantastic time with it. I think Pokemon Legends ZA is probably pretty up there for me as far as Pokemon games go, just in terms of pure enjoyment. I had a great time with it. Doug Bowser is gone from Nintendo of America. I'm curious how things will move forward without him. I mean, Reggie wasn't a perfect Nintendo of America president, but it certainly feels like he was pretty good for the company. So here's hoping whoever comes next. Here's hoping whoever comes next does a good job. Because, you know, Nintendo of America is not... only has so much influence over the company, you know. Nintendo of Japan is always the final decision maker. But I've been having a great time with my Switch 2. It's not cheap. The games aren't cheap. But I've been having a great time with it. So, you know, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. Like, I have gotten $80 worth of value and enjoyment out of Pokemon Legends ZA. Do I think everyone would? No. But I've gotten my money's worth. So, but we've got a couple of more Switch 2 games here, and, again, more, like, it's pricey, but man, I've been having an absolute blast with my Switch 2. So, I think the game that I most definitively need to play more of, out of all of my Switch 2 games, is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Because I haven't played much more of this after my stream of it. But this game is really fun. I like the Hyrule Warriors games. I didn't play Age of Calamity, but I did play a lot of Hyrule Warriors 1 on the Wii U. And I think Hyrule Warriors is a lot of fun. Age of Imprisonment had, like... I enjoyed playing all of the different characters that Age of Imprisonment allowed me to play. Like, I enjoyed playing as Zelda, I enjoyed playing as Rauru. I liked playing as the weird, totally not Link Simulacrum. So it's a lot of fun. It's a Warriors game. It's a Musou game. Like, you know what you're getting into, but I enjoy, like, getting new pieces of the combo, new, like, items that any character can use and equip, just like the bombs. Just, like, any character can just start chucking bombs at the enemy, because everyone has a little energy reserve, a little Zonai energy. So, I've had a lot of fun with Age of Imprisonment thus far. I don't know if I can put it into S immediately, because while I have been enjoying it a lot, it is one of those games. Very button mashy. Like, in a lot of ways, very brain off. Just, like, do your moves until the enemy dies, and you don't really have to worry about the consequences. I have a feeling that once I play more of it, it could probably end up in S. But at the very, like, bare minimum, high A. A lot of fun. One second, let me blow my nose. I'm a little stuffed up. Kirby Air Riders. Well, goddamn, they made another Kirby Air Ride game. Kirby Air Ride is just one of the all-time classics. Really, truly fantastic GameCube experience. And I think they did a really good job bringing the air ride experience into the modern age. Making it feel new, feel fresh, because it being Kirby Air Riders, plural, feels accurate, because there's a huge variety of characters that you can play as. The characters have their own unique abilities that they can do. There's more cars, there's more events, there's more, like, little power-ups. There's just more Kirby Air Ride. Kirby Air Riders should have been the system seller. Yeah, I mean, it should be. And it, in some ways, maybe it could be if it got a little more marketing, but Kirby Air Riders rules. Like, that game is so much fun. It's so chaotic. It's so much fun to just play as Rick, and then you're just driving around, and then there's a bunch of people all in one spot, so you go rip-roaring Rick mode, and you just get off your car and just sprint at them, and just body check all of your opponents to death. And, like, the fact that the different characters have different stat affinities, the fact that the different cars will have, or the different stars or vehicles or whatever you want to call them, all have, like, different ways they handle different kinds of challenges. Like, City Trial feels even more chaotic than it did, because there's more people, the city is bigger, there's more stuff, you end up going faster because of all the different abilities. It's more Kirby Air Ride, and, like, fuck yeah, dude. So a lot of the placement of these games is not specific. Like, if it's in an S tier, the difference between Pirate Yakuza and Kirby Air Riders is not massive. If it's in the S tier, it's one of the best games that I played last year. Yeah, you get story! There's a story mode! I need to finish the story mode. But it's great. Great stuff. Thanks. Thank you, Sakurai. Deborah Wilson's in it. Yep. I did play Mario Kart World. Hang on. I played more of it off stream, but I did play it on stream at least a little bit. So, hang on. Alright. And then... Art World. And then I should be able to just... There we go. Alright. Okay. Donkey Kong Bonanza! Wow, you can really go apeshit in this game. Donkey Kong Bonanza is a lot of fun. It is so much fun to just, like, see a hillside and not go up it, but just straight into it and just see what happens. It is so much fun to just, like, start digging a hole in a direction, just any direction, and then ending up, like, inside a cavern on the other side of some platforming puzzle or something, and there's just a golden banana there. It's just like, hell yeah. And then just, like, doing the platforming thing, or the challenge, or the puzzle, or whatever, just doing it backwards, just for fun. Because it's fun to move around, it's fun to punch through stuff, the challenges are interesting, and the forms of subversion that the game offers you are fun, and fun to engage with. It feels like at all times you are being rewarded for playing the game. Just, if you're smashing stuff, you're getting money, you're getting treasure chests, you might, like, dig your way into a cool prize, or if you're just, like, looking around and just, like, exploring the environment, there's fun stuff to look at, there's little treasures to find all over the place, the fossils and such. And as you're collecting all these golden bananas strewn across the world, you're getting skill points, and the skill points unlock interesting skills. Not just, like, oh, punch through walls better, or make your clap better. But it's giving you new abilities, like, it's giving you the spin jump, it's letting you use the turf surf across water. It's making your transformation forms better, it's letting you go into your bonanza forms more often or faster. Like, it all feels impactful, it all feels like... It feels like it's not a game where you can waste your time, in a way. I have not seen anything about the game beyond the point that I got to on stream, except for the fact that there's a zebra transformation. And that one lets you go fast, presumably. Literally brute forcing your way through the game is so free. It's just fun! It's just so much fun to interact with the game world. Because it never really feels like you are playing the game wrong, even when you are specifically going out of your way to do something goofy. No, I have not played more Bonanza off... Well, I played a little bit, but, like, I played the very beginning of Bonanza with my mom. Because I got my mom Bonanza for Christmas because she loves Donkey Kong so much. Well, I got them a Switch 2, and Bonanza, and Kirby Air Riders. But yeah, my mom loves Donkey Kong, and so I was kinda giving her some hints and tips during the tutorial and such. And she was seeming to enjoy it quite a lot. There's a ball of darkness in the center of the starting location if you destroy the entire island. Interesting. But yeah, Bonanza is a whole lot of fun. I am looking forward to playing more of it. Mario Kart World! Also, a lot of fun! Playing it 4-player split screen is not the optimal experience, I would say. It is tough to really appreciate how beautiful that game is when you are playing in a small portion of a television at 30 frames a second or worse. But get a bigger TV. It wasn't a small TV. Like, it was fine. It worked fine, but it was hard to appreciate how fucking gorgeous that game is, because it really is gorgeous. Like, Mario Kart World is a game that looks so good, and it sounds so good. The soundtrack for that game is truly spectacular. I mean, a lot of it is just remixes of classic Mario tracks, or classic Mario Kart tracks, or what have you. But, like, they're really, really good remixes. So, I think the soundtrack is fantastic. The game is an absolute treat to look at. And the character variety, a lot of fun. Like, a bunch of characters having different costumes, a bunch of little, like, quote-unquote monster-type enemies that you can play as, like the cow, the penguin. Like, just a bunch of unlockable characters, unlockable cars. The open world mode where you just get to go around and explore this huge interconnected world where all the tracks take place. So cool, so much fun. And just like the core gameplay is great. Being able to ride the rails and like do wall rides and stuff, like it adds so much depth to the tracks. It adds so much more stuff that you can do in any individual race. And like the fact that there are so many racers, and this is a thing with Kirby Air Riders as well, of just like there being a ton more people involved does make it more chaotic. And in the case of World, I do think that it's not the best thing for the balance of the game. Just having so many people on the track at the same time does result in a lot more of like mobs of people, like crowds of people, because those people are getting hit with red shells and then they are getting a red shell and hitting the people in front of them. And like people tend to cluster around the middle a little bit. Child Asp would have loved exploring Mario Kart World. Current Asp would probably enjoy exploring Mario Kart World. Like, there's so much cool shit to look at in that game. And when you're going around doing the open world stuff, there's just like little challenges and collectibles that you can find all over the place. It's great. Don't think anyone asked to play as the basic enemies. I'm glad you can, though. I think it's good that they just did a weird thing with the roster that people weren't expecting. I think it's good you can play as Goomba and Koopa and the little fucking flying fellas from what was it? Super Mario 3D World? You can play as a Pokey. You can play as a dolphin. You can play as the dolphins from Super Mario World. And so when the dolphin is, like, in a car or on a motorcycle, they're just, like, laying on top of it. It looks so dumb. It's so funny. So it's just fun. Like, it's a game that is just so much fun. And I think that's one of the best parts about a lot of these, Switch games is like Pokemon Legends ZA, Kirby Air Riders, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Mario Kart World, Hyrule Warriors. Just fun! Metroid Prime 4! Fun! Fun video games! And so, like, a lot of these games don't really feel like they are trying to be more than they are, but what they are is so much. If that makes any sense at all. Like, all of these games are, like, I would highly recommend any of the Switch 2 games that I have played thus far. Like, all of them I have had really great times with. It's just so much fun. And I will say, I don't think I'm ever going to have as much fun playing Mario Kart World as I do just playing it split screen with my family, even if that's not the best way to appreciate that game. Man, it is so much fun to just, like, be in a room with people playing Mario Kart. It's great. I am very optimistic about the Switch 2's library with, like, how hot that, like, the first set of major releases have gone. And I'm looking forward to playing more games on that system. I'm having a great time with it. Stardew Valley. So, I did play a lot of Stardew Valley last year. And to add some context, I was playing it with the Stardew Valley Expanded? I think the Expanded mod. Which adds some new characters, a bunch of new stuff, new areas, new items, all that. And I was playing with the Anthro Characters mod. And so, one of the big reasons why I still haven't gotten married in Stardew Valley is because there's 3 cat girls that are really cute. And so, like, I don't know which one I want to marry, because I like them a lot. But Stardew Valley is a weird game, because the combat aspect of Stardew Valley feels both so important and also just, like, kinda jank and somewhat left behind in terms of the progression and like further development of that game. But this is something that I didn't talk about when I was talking about abiotic factor. I love to level up in games. I love to level up and get new perks from leveling up in games. Abiotic factor does that super well in some ways. The actual, like, grinding for certain skills to get to high levels kind of blows in abiotic. But that is, like, one of the biggest things that got me into Stardew Valley, is just the concept of, as you do stuff in this game, you will level up in various skills, and getting to certain levels and certain skills will give you cool bonuses. And I'm like, say no more. So, I had a great time with Stardew Valley. I don't love farming, is the thing. I enjoyed the concept of trying to optimize how and what I was getting out of my, like, how much stuff and what stuff I was getting out of my farm. And I generally enjoy time management. Trying to get the most out of every day in that game. Just like, okay, so this next day, it's this character's birthday, it's the start of a new week, so I've got to give gifts to all of these characters. This event is going on, so I need to be careful to try and get this thing done over here before the event starts. I need to sell these items, I need to crack open these geodes, I've got this item that I need to take over to the museum. My watering can is going to be finished, so I need to figure out which tool I'm going to upgrade next. Like, are any of my tools not going to be important for the next couple of days? Am I going to be able to spend any time going out to the desert to go into the Skull Cavern? Like, probably not. And just, like, thinking about all of these different things, I enjoy that. And it took me a while, it took me some effort to, like, fully internalize, I don't need to do that every in-game day. This game, it will just go forever. I can take my time. I can just spend these days doing what I want to do. And, you know, what I want to do can be getting a lot of shit done in one day. When I successfully do like a massive list of tasks that I had planned all in one day, I feel great. I feel really productive. I feel like I feel like I had a good plan going in and I executed it well. But every now and then, I would have just a little bit of time where I'm just like, I'm just gonna, like, walk around and talk to people and see what's going on, and just, like, maybe I'll do a little bit of fishing. Like, I already caught all of the fish for this season, so I don't need to do any fishing, but I just want to do some fishing today. So, it's a game that swings, like, really far in both directions of being super chill, but also being, like, super optimized, super, like, fucking Dead Rising-esque of, I gotta plan out everything ahead of time so I can get all the stuff that I want to do done. The community center put you on a treadmill you shouldn't have gotten on. Yeah. But, like, you finish the community center, and then it's done. And, like, you can go to the community center and see people hanging out in the community center. Like, events would happen in the community center because now it's just a place where people go to hang out. And that's cool. And, like, I think one of the last things that I did while I was playing was I fixed the ship to go to the island. And so, like, I haven't done any of that. But I was just spending so much time, like, organizing my farm. Like, where am I putting the greenhouse? How am I putting together a little area for my sheep to hang out in? My frickin' sheep, my cows and stuff. Like, how am I put together a little area for my chickens to hang out in? Just, like, trying to put together and organize this farm. Like, that kind of stuff can be really fun. But sometimes it can be really overwhelming. It's not a game that I would play all the time. I kind of have to be in a mood for it, but when it hits, Stardew Valley hits really hard. When I was into Stardew Valley, I was playing that shit for like 8 hours a day, every day. I was playing so much, and so, I mean, how could it be anywhere but an S? But I like Stardew Valley a lot, and I think the Anthro Characters mod, the furry mod, really well done. I don't think I could ever look at the original versions of those characters again. The thing you struggled with in Stardew Valley was you had difficulty feeling what you were doing meant anything because nobody was really responding to it. Sure. And, like, you kind of have to go into a game like this knowing that people are not going to be like, oh, congratulations on all of the good farming you've been doing. Like, people are kind of just living their lives. Kind of just, like, you know, you show up and you talk to them and they're just like, oh, yep, this is my day. Like, there's not a lot of depth to any individual character, which is not the best. You know, if that could be something that makes a game like Stardew Valley stand out a little bit more. But I still think there's a lot of things in Stardew Valley that are like checklists for you to do. And I like that kind of thing. I like to, like, complete all of the stuff in the community center. I like to catch all of the fish that are available at this time of year, and go in and look and see, like, yes, I have caught all of the fish that are available this time of year. And stuff like that. Stardew Valley scratches the completionist part of my brain more than anything. And so, that's a particular kind of vibe. Wanted to feel like it was real and all. I like the characters. I do like the characters, and the Stardew Valley Extended, which introduces new characters, I think those characters are pretty well written as well. But, you know, they don't have a whole lot of depth to them. So they have scenes, they have fun interactions, but I do think it is a gameplay-oriented experience. Oh, I mean, if you don't care about any of the characters, then yeah. Like, the characters... the characters are there to be cared about. The characters aren't there to care about you. Replaced Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm excited to see if they do a new Animal Crossing game. I'm hopeful that they do. I know that they are doing, like, a new version with Switch 2 exclusive DLC for New Horizons. I'm interested in seeing what's going on with that. But also, I hope they just do a new Animal Crossing. Oh, aren't they doing a new Tomodachi Life for the Switch 2? They have more going on when you talk to them a bunch. Yeah. The characters do not go to you. You go to the characters. That's how that kind of game works. Yeah. I like Stardew Valley a lot. The Bazaar. The Bazaar is pretty great. It has some unfortunate aspects to its monetization, like new characters being $20 does feel excessive. But as far as the game itself goes, the Bazaar is a whole heck of a lot of fun. The different characters have a wide variety of builds that are fun and interesting to, you know, you can go for specific builds if you know what you're looking for, or you can kind of just roll by the seat of your pants and see what happens. And there are a lot of different events and different cards that can make, like, any individual run feel very unique. A lot of items, like, you know, a lot of opportunities to get items from other characters that can really change your whole game plan depending on what items, what characters. And each of the characters feel like they have very unique game plans, very unique gameplay styles. So even though each character has a variety of ways to build and play those characters, they still have really cool stuff. Like, they still feel very different from each other. Adjacency mechanics. Yeah, adjacency mechanics can be a lot of fun, can be really interesting. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you're just not getting exactly what you're looking for, and you just need to adapt to the situation. Or sometimes you need to see that your current game plan isn't working out, and you just, like, scrap everything, just raise your entire build to the ground, and start building from the ground up, and there are a lot of interesting ways that the game allows you to do that. A lot of opportunities the game gives for you to do something like that. Ty Tuesday has done a couple of streams of the Bazaar where if you, like, donate a certain amount, he sells all of his items. Like, every item on his board, every item in his storage, and he would still like finish these runs with a full 10 wins. So, like, you can be really good at this game, and being good at the game rewards you with allowing you to do weird, dumb, interesting things. So, I think it's a solid A. I think it's a lot of fun, it's really interesting. I will say that something that keeps it from being an S is the runs can take a while, especially if you are, like, doing something that you're not already familiar with, and you need to really put a lot of thought into any individual aspect of how you are going about doing your thing, or just like, oh, I just found an extremely powerful item. How can I, like, is it worth trying to fit this item into my current build? Do I just stay with my current build and ditch this very powerful new item? Or do I just take this new item and then start a new build based around this item and just, like, gradually sell off everything else to, like, make room for building entirely around this item? And sometimes that goes super well. Sometimes it doesn't. It's fun. It's fun to experiment and find out. So, the Bazaar, if you like auto battler kinds of games, if you like run-based deck builder kinds of games, the Bazaar does that kind of style pretty well. Monster Train 2, talking about run-based deck builders. I think one of the biggest problems with Monster Train 2 is that it rewards doing a specific game plan too much. Like, depending on which factions you bring along with you on the train, because the fundamental gist of it is it's kind of like Slay the Spire, but you are bringing along two factions of demons on your train, and you summon some demons onto different floors of your train, and then you cast spells. Like, it is not super difficult to understand. It's not difficult to get up and going. But I do think that the balance for Monster Train 2 is not amazing. I do feel like, with certain factions on your train, like, certain faction combinations, rather, really want you to be doing something specific. And if you're not doing that thing, then you can kinda just spin your wheels a lot. But because there is, like, 10 different factions, and each of the factions have 2 leaders, and the leaders have a different game plan, even within the same faction. So, you know, you functionally have, like, you almost end up with, like, 20 different factions that you can, like, mix and match. there's some fun dialogue, like fun little dialogue scenes that you can see between the various main characters. And there are a lot of really cool, fun cards that you can find, fun interactions and builds that you can put together. Even if what is good might struggle a little bit when it comes to variety, I still think it is really fun to play. Like, I have played a lot of Monster Train, too. I have beaten the game on, like, the hardest... I've beaten, like, the hardest challenge on the hardest difficulty. I've beaten all of the, like, weirdo challenge mode, like, specific modifier shenanigans. I've beaten all that. I've beaten the game with every combination of factions, if I recall correctly. So, like, I've played that game a lot, and I had a great time doing it. I think it's a solid A. Even in spite of its balance issues, still a lot of fun. Oh boy, another run-based game. Oh, right, we've got a whole pile of run-based games here in part 2 of this tier list. Mega Bonk. Man, talk about the game wanting you to do something specific. I do think that certain characters in Mega Bonk are way better than other characters. I think certain weapons and certain, like, game plans are just so much better than others in Mega Bonk. And I think actually beating, like, the highest difficulty requires so much luck in this game. It feels like it's a 3D auto shooter, and so that aspect of it is a lot of fun and is unique to a lot of other auto shooter survival kinds of games. And I generally enjoy the weapons and the power designs, the item designs, and stuff like that. I generally enjoy Mega Bonk, but I think when it comes to this kind of game, certain options feeling underpowered can be pretty rough. Certain characters feeling underpowered can be pretty rough. And especially in the context of a game where some of the highest challenges are kind of overtuned. It's still in active development. I like Mega Bonk. I had a lot of fun with it. But I haven't gone back to it in a while, because I was starting to get annoyed by how random some of the challenges felt, how random certain characters felt to play, how random it felt to try and go out of my way to accomplish certain achievements, like unlock certain character skins, and I don't think I completed level 3 on any of the levels. So, I mean, yes, maybe skill issue, but there are just certain aspects of the game that just rub me a little bit the wrong way, but it's still an A. I still had a great time with it. But there are just certain aspects of it that are like, I hope these aspects of this game get smoothed out. Hades 2! The final boss is rather unbalanced. I believe that is the case for, like, all of the different levels, too. Like, all of the different final bosses are fucked up. So, anyways. Hades 2! Hades 2 is really good. I think Hades 2 has, from my experience with Hades 2, I think Hades 2 has some of the best drip feeding of unlocks in any run-based game that I have played. It felt like almost every single run that I did of Hades 2, I would come back to base, and I would either have an interesting conversation with someone, I would unlock a new power, I would unlock a new feature, I would unlock something, I would upgrade something. Every single run felt like I got something or did something that felt meaningful in some manner. And like the extra challenges that you can apply, all of the different keepsakes that you can bring with you on the runs, the variety of weapons, all of it feels really great to play. I have not played it since they redid like certain parts of the story. And I was relatively close to completing the story, but I still had, like, a couple of runs to go before I beat the game, quote-unquote. So I'm curious what the differences are. I don't know if I'm going to, like, do the reset back to the start so I see what the full new story is like. I'm not really opposed to doing that, just because it's a lot of fun. Like, it is, any individual run of Hades 2 is a lot of fun to play. And, like, you've got the different familiars, the little pets, too, and they can really change the way that you play and which builds, which weapons you might gravitate towards. I think Hades 2 rules. I think it is really, really great. I don't know if I like it as much as I liked Hades 1 when I first played Hades 1. But I think the mechanics are generally better balanced in Hades 2. Like, the new way they implemented cast in Hades 2 feels so much better to use than cast did in Hades 1. It generally feels like the game is a little better balanced in Hades 2. In some regards, it does feel like that balance does err a little more towards lower power than Hades 1 did. I mean, I think of playing Hades 1, and I would take the shield, and I would go out of my way for Poseidon and Zeus boons, and the damage output would be so fucking ridiculous that I would just blitz down anything very, very quickly. Maybe if I played 2, I would like it more. It had been years since I played Hades 1, and I generally tried... I tried to go into Hades 2 relatively open-minded. Because, you know, Hades 1 was a big fucking deal when it came out, and I played it, like, when it was big. And I enjoyed it a lot. I thought Hades 1 was a fantastic video game. And I think Hades 2 is a fantastic video game. I think, if anything, one of the biggest aspects that kind of puts a damper on Hades 2 is the whole story rewrite thing. And so, like, I don't know if I didn't like the way the story was before. I don't know how much better the new version of the story is. And seeing a lot of people talk about that stuff does kind of put a damper on my perspective of it. But I think in spite of that, I do still think that Hades 2 is an S. Like, that game is a lot of fun, and the way that they expand on the formula of Hades 1, like, one of the biggest differences between Hades 1 and Hades 2, I think is so cool. And I think they handled it very well. So I like Hades 2 a lot. I think it is really, really good. Wonder if you should play Hades 2 with your brain worms. I don't know if I would recommend trying to do the thing with Hades 2 that you did with Hades 1. I think the thing that you did with Hades 1 may have made your experience with Hades 1 not a great one. But I mean, if that's what you want out of the game, I'm not going to stop you. I think Hades 2 is great. Clover Pit. What does that mean? Rand did a thing where he refused to buy any of the meta progression upgrades until he beat a run in Hades 1. And that game is not designed like that. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but if that's how you want to live your life. But yeah, Clover Pit. Clover Pit, it has some interesting things going on, some interesting choices that you can make. Because you've got a slot machine, and you get some items that can manipulate the slot machine and give you bonuses when you get certain results on the slot machine. And you can do big combos, you can get the Juk Port 1 trillion. Lot of fun, goofy stuff. But the aesthetics are just like so grungy, so like reveling in it being grungy. Like, it's not a fun game to look at. And I think it gets pretty repetitive. You unlock all kinds of interesting items that change how the slot machine goes in all kinds of different ways, but the actual, like, variety to, like, how much of a difference that makes to how you play the game, I don't think it's quite there. I don't... There is fun stuff going on in Clover Pit in the same way that most run-based games have some fun stuff going on. I just don't think it works out quite well enough. So, I think it's a B. If you wanna spin the wheel and try and get an entire board full of gold bars and then earn $1 bazillion, it's fun. Clover Pit is not a bad game, especially if you can get it on sale for cheap. Like, I would say Clover Pit is worth goofing around with for a few hours, but I don't think it really has the juice for being a game to keep coming back to. It kind of feels like a game that you play a lot of, and then it's like, okay, I get it. And then that's about it. last game on the list, as far as games I was able to look at, like, how I put together this list was I just looked at my VODs on the VOD channel, which you can find by typing !VODs in the chat. youtube.com/@hat_VODs. Woo. So hopefully I'm not missing any games, but I very well could be. Hey, Ghost Trick! Ghost Trick knocks Claire Obscure 33 out of my top 3 games of the year. Because, goddamn, Ghost Trick is one of the best to ever do it. Ghost Trick is so good. It's so stylish. Every character is so unique and identifiable. The writing is so clever. The gameplay is so clever. It makes you feel like an absolute fucking dunce, and then like the biggest genius to ever live. Like, one after another. The core gimmick of... it's just... you have 2 verbs. You can ghost and you can trick. And just jumping between these objects in order to manipulate them in all kinds of zany and fun, goofy ways. And, like, the distance between them being such a major mechanic of, you know, you're a ghost, but you have to figure out how to get across the room. And getting across the room can be like a 5-step Rube Goldberg-ass puzzle. And it's so much fun to just touch stuff, to just interact with things, to see what happens whenever you take an action. Like, everything feels so meaningful and so entertaining. And, oh my god, the characters and the writing is so good. Like, Missile is the best dog there's ever been. He's such a good dog. And Missile is just so much fun to interact with. It's just, every time Missile shows up, it's like, yeah, Missile! Anytime the inspector shows up and he fucking dances in or out of a room, I'm just like, fuck yeah, dude. Oh my god. It just, everything is so colorful and fun and animated and just... there, not a drop wasted. There is absolutely nothing in that game goes to waste. Every scrap of the buffalo is put to 110% usage. It is front to back, so well designed, so, like, such an absolute joy to interact with. Like, to play, to read, to listen to. The music is great. Yes, the plot twists, just, like, oh my god, some of these, so many of those moments, just, like, one of my favorite things that happened during the course of that stream was I figured out one of the big plot twists ahead of time, and I didn't say shit, like, I made the realization, and I remember very specifically, I made the realization, and I went, not saying anything. And I did not say the thing that I believed with 100% of my heart, I believed that I had figured something out. And the reveal of that thing being true, the reveal of not only did I actually figure that out 100%, like, I got it, I knew it, but then seeing people in chat react to the reveal and a bunch of those people not having figured it out. So much fun. So glad I streamed that game. Like, so glad that I shared that experience with people, because, man. And I didn't figure out the biggest twist. The biggest twist was crazy. Like, who in the fucking world could have possibly figured out, like, the other big reveal at the end of the game? But also, all the clues are there. Like, the information to come to that conclusion are present. But there is no way that you are making the connection before the reveal actually happens. Like, it does not feel like it comes out of it doesn't feel like it comes out of nowhere. It feels 100% entirely, like, well-earned, well-put-together, well-executed. But it is still just one of the most bombastic, just like, what?! No fucking way! Are you joking me right now? What?! Just like that kind of reveal, that kind of moment. And it's just so fun. It's so exciting. And so, and there are so many moments throughout the course of the game that have that kind of impact. Nothing to that extent, of course, but so many moments of just like, you know, you are putting together what is going to happen as you are ghosting and tricking, and then you're like, wait a fucking second. This is not gonna turn out how I thought it was gonna turn out. Oh my god. And then something crazy happens, and it's amazing. Just like, there's a moment towards the end of the game that happens, and I absolutely could not believe that it was happening. I could not believe, like, oh my god. Like, this is where we're going. This is not only is this where we are, this is where we're going. Like, I didn't think we were gonna end up where we were. How the fuck was I gonna guess that? But, like, the information is there. You can make a guess. You can make that conclusion of just like, oh, right, yeah, that would make sense. Yes, okay, let's do it. But just the sense of timing, the pacing is so finely crafted. And so there are so many fun, so many fun, exciting reveals that happen throughout the course of the game that all feel earned. They feel deserved. They feel like set up, payoff. And even the times where something really does come out of nowhere, they will then give you all of the context to make it make sense. And so there are still these moments where you can be shocked, these moments where you can be surprised and caught off guard. But by the end, yes, that I understand everything as to why that was happening, and I'm glad it happened because that was cool and fun. Like, I love the Ace Attorney games. I used to play the entire Ace Attorney series every year. I would just play it annually, because I love those games so much. And I still love those games. But, like, I think Ghost Trick might be better than any of the Ace Attorney games. It's... Oh! Mwah. Just one of the best to ever do it. And so, it's so tight between these three for absolute, like, top game of the year. Because all three of these games are very different in the ways that I love them. Because Ghost Trick is very, like, even though I have the background of loving the Ace Attorney games, Ghost Trick is a very standalone thing. And so, Like a Dragon earns some bonus points because I love Majima already. I loved Majima going into Pirate Yakuza, and it is a game that uses the character of Majima so well. It is a game that is so fun, and so, like... It is a game that is so extremely itself, and unapologetically itself, and I think all three of these games nail that vibe very, very well. But they're different. They're all different, because this is like a big open world, bunch of mini games, like several different kinds of combat, like really heartfelt emotional core, while also having a fucking live action like FMV sequence about a guy fucking up dating a bunch of ladies. You have a side quest where you date a tiger, and the tiger has an anime voice. Like, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is a game that is a lot. Ghost Trick and Signalis are both very focused. These games are, like, very, very tightly crafted. Very, like, an experience that is very designed from start to finish. And I can't choose. I really can't say definitively that any of these three games were better than any of the other three, but I do think that these are my top 3 games that I played last year. All 3 of them are just like some of my favorite video games of all time. But like, this last year was really fantastic for video games, for games that I streamed at least, but I think just in general, there were a lot of really great games last year, but especially for games that I streamed, just like these 3 really truly knocked it out of the park. Infinite Wealth, I talked about this during last year's tier list more, because I barely played this in 2025. I think it was mostly just like post-game stuff, so that's why I'm not talking about it much. Expedition 33. Really, really fantastic turn-based RPG. It is like the modern-day Chrono Trigger. It really cannot be dismissed, I think. I feel as though Expedition 33 is really, really, really great. Dreams of Aether. Super compact, super fun little WarioWare game. Tons of great art, mini games, sound design, music. Just such a fun little gem. Mario 64, old school RuneScape, Dark Souls, fucking the Metroid Prime games. Just a bunch of classics. Mario Sunshine. Visions of Mana. Really fantastic action RPG. Picayune Dreams, great auto shooter survival. Stardew Valley, one of the classics of the farming genre. Metroid Prime 4 has been a ton of fun thus far, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it. Abiotic Factor, one of the best survival crafting games out there. Sam & Max, some of the best point-and-clicks of all time. Last Epoch, like, one of the best action ARPGs, rather. Diablo-likes, if you will. At least as far as for beginners. I think Last Epoch is, one of the best games of that genre to try out if you have never played a game in that genre. Or maybe if you've only played Diablo 2 and you haven't played any modern games of the genre like Path of Exile or any of the newer Diablos. I think Last Epoch is a really, really great choice for one of those to check out. Some really great Switch 2 entries, hoping that continues to be the case moving into this year. Heart of the Machine, fucking weirdo city builder, like real-time or like turn-based strategy, like 4X adventure game. So weird, so cool, so interesting. Hades 2, like a genuinely great sequel to Hades 1. And Hades 1 is one of the best run-based games to ever do it. So, just like, man. So much good stuff. Such a strong, like, such an incredibly strong pile of games up here in S tier. And then, like, some really great experiences down here as well. Like, for all of my problems with Let It Die, that game's fucking interesting. For all of my problems with Neo 2, that game's fucking interesting. This could very well be the year that RuneScape 3 becomes good again. Some people might argue that it never was, but it's interesting. Bunch of Mario Party games, a lot of fun Mario Party games. Lost Judgment could push its way up into A tier. We're getting close to the end. It's getting interesting. We'll see. Forklift Load. Weird indie forklift puzzle game was trying to be Nier Automata, and that's that's so interesting. It's not good, but whoa, it's interesting. So yeah, I think that's the tier list. A little shorter on the stream tonight, but very dense. I've been talking about video games for over 2 hours straight. I tried to get near. Sure did. Yeah. What are you looking forward to this year that you haven't played? So that's a great question. I have a pile of games. Actually, I could go look at my to-play list on Steam. And so this will be, like, even if I don't intend to stream all of the games in my to-play list, I do intend to play these games over the course of this year. So, let's see. 1000X Resist seems fucking weird. Looking forward to that. Agelos is another retro-style action game, to my understanding. 500 Caliber Contracts is coming out this year, I believe. That seems... It's like weird like, very movement-based game where you're trying to use a sniper rifle to both move around and assassinate people. Dan gifted me Backyard Baseball 01, so we'll see if I get a batter and not a broken ladder in that one. We'll see how that shakes out. Backaroo, which seems to be a like 3D action adventure kind of game inspired by Mystical Ninja Goemon on the Super Nintendo and N64. So that seems cool. Black Mesa, which is the remake of Half-Life, the fan remake of Half-Life, I should specify. I've played through Half-Life 1 a couple of times. I'm really interested to see how Black Mesa handles it. Because Half-Life 1, maybe I'll just do like the Half-Life series this year. Just like Black Mesa, and then just do Half-Life 2 and the episodes. That could be interesting. Those games are classics. Blade Chimera, which I believe is another... Oh no, this one's different. This one's a very nice-looking 2D Metroidvania kind of dealio. Oh, I was thinking of Severed Steel, which is another retro-styled first-person shooter similar to how Sulaco was. Digimon Story Time Stranger, and what was the other one? Fucking Raidou Remastered. I intend to at least do one stream of those games before, like, stream the start of those games. And probably do like a full playthrough off stream, but I'll stream some of it. Sir gifted me the Duck Detective games, and so I have those, and also those Alligator Detective games. Or Frog Detective. I have the rest of the Frog Detective games. And also, more Sam and Max are probably going to happen over the course of this year. I might stream checking out Ina Dream Barbecue. That game seems really interesting and weird and fun to just, like, take a look at. Fix Fox is like a little repair-based puzzle game with a fox character. I've been meaning to check that out for a while now. I also picked up the Henry Stickmin collection. I never played any of the Henry Stickmin games when I was younger, so it'll basically all be new to me. I got the 100-line Last Defense Academy, which my understanding is that's by the Danganronpa people, so it's probably fucking weird. Maybe in an endearing way. Crystalla seems to be a Souls-like where you play as a cat, so that seems great. I've got Lego Party, so maybe we will have a little less Mario Party this year. Maybe we'll have a little more Lego Party this year. But to balance it out, I mean, especially considering that a lot of people think that Lego Party is, like, good and, like, better than Mario Party games. To balance things out, I also have Dokapon Kingdom. So, you know, we can't have too much of a good thing. Live Alive, I might do a, like, one-off stream checking out the start of it, and then play through the rest of it off stream kind of thing. Locomotive, which seems to be a fun little point-and-click adventure game about a murder on a train, and everything is like super stylish and fun. I got a pile more of Metroidvanias that I want to check out. I've got Momodora, Moonlit Farewell, I've got Rusted Moss, which I've been interested in checking out for a while. Onimusha Warlords, which is like a PS2 classic, like character action game, or maybe not even character action game, just like action classic. Want to check that out. Unsighted is a game that I know a lot of people are really into that I meant to stream like years ago and haven't gotten around to yet, but maybe this will be the year. And I do intend on streaming more Switch 2 games. Definitely going to be playing through the rest of Metroid Prime 4. Really looking forward to that. But I might also stream some more Pokemon. Might stream some more Kirby or Mario Kart. Might stream some more Hyrule Warriors and... Oh wait, no, let's not do that. Let's hide it. Switch to 2026 releases games. What do we got? The Pokopia, which is that, like, Pokemon city builder where you play as a Ditto or something. New Tomodachi Life. They're putting Integrate on the Switch. That's pretty neat. Dragon Quest VII. So Dragon Quest VII was the Dragon Quest that I played as a youngin'. So I'm like kind of excited about this. I might check this one out. New Mario Tennis. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. I don't know what to think about Kiwami 3 quite yet. We'll see. I'm excited for the Dark Ties, like, DLC stuff, where you get to see, like, more plot, like, more backstory stuff pertaining to the main villain. Which is something that game was pretty lacking in. Monster Hunter Stories 3. I hope they bring back Tsukino. She's cute. They're trying to put 007 on the Switch. The Switch 2 is, like, not powerful, but I do feel like trying to put the new IO interactive game on it might make it explode. Oh, they're doing like a DLC pack for Mario Wonder. That makes sense. New Yoshi game? Huh. Maybe this new Yoshi game will be good and, like, not baby game. Because, like, the Woolly World and the Yarn one, they're fun games, but they are baby games. New Fire Emblem, alright. Orbitals. I don't know what that is. Alright. Yeah. I'm gonna be playing the Switch 2 this coming year, and it's probably gonna go great. No, not Kirby's Epic Yarn. There were like two... Oh, Yoshi's Crafted World was the other one. It was Yoshi's Woolly World and Yoshi's Crafted World. I recall the Crafted World being better. trailer made it look a little babby. It's probably going to be a babby game, but I don't know, maybe it'll be cute. Anyways, yeah, that was 2025, a little look forward into 2026. I try not to get too caught up in upcoming releases, upcoming games. Like, I'm very interested in seeing what Yakuza Kiwami 3 turns out to be. Like, I'm a little worried because they put Kiryu in, like, black pants and a dark Aloha shirt instead of his, in the original Yakuza 3s, in, like, khakis and a bright red shirt. And I feel like that made a lot more sense, but anyways. We'll see. I'm trying not to be too negative about it, but I'm a little skeptical. We'll see. But yeah, I try not to get too caught up in upcoming games, especially because I have so many games to play right now. So we'll see. We'll see how things shake out. We'll see what all cool games come out this year. Dispatch also came out last year, and I'm excited to check that one out as well. Can you get a full screenshot of the tier list and share it on the server? Yes. Yeah, the full tier list will be available on the Discord server. But yeah. So 2025 was good for video games, and I'm looking forward to playing video games in 2026. So, no notifications to go over today, but thanks everyone for hanging out. I had a great time just talking about video games. I hope y'all also enjoyed listening to me talk about video games, whether you agreed with all of my determinations, with my tiering, as it were, or not. For folks on the internet, Smite is doing another gigantic damage shuffler nonsense thing. Spout is playing a cat named Mojave. Doppels is playing Look Outside. Not Game Center CX is currently running. I don't know if the current episode has subtitles or not. Permavermin might be playing Silksong. I think my UI for raids might be a little broken. Digidoggy is playing Nuclear Option, and Umpuko is just chatting. Seems like Umpuko's just hanging out. But yeah, I think we're gonna... Digi is currently on break, and Umpuko is there, but I love my streamer friends, so whoever you end up watching for the rest of this evening, support them. I'm gonna raid Umpuko. Umpuko just went on break. I'm raiding Digi. I'm gonna raid both of them. It'll totally work. It won't work. I'm raiding Digi. Thanks again, everyone, for showing up and hanging out and chatting and all that good stuff. And hopefully I will see you all again on Monday for the return of Metroid Prime 4. Have a good one.